Local housing markets often defy broader national trends. North West London is a prime example of this. If you're considering a move in or out of this area, understanding local data and insights is absolutely crucial. Brought to you by accredited property market agents Loporto Browne Residential. Here's your latest North West London housing market update.
Hello and welcome to our autumn review of the property market here in North West London. The autumn market is in full swing, but buyers and sellers and investors are waiting with bated breath for the budget at the end of this month. We're also waiting to assess the longer-term effects of the Renters' Rights Bill. So in this update, we have some advice regarding all these and more. Let's kick off by looking at the average sales price over the last 12 months to August 2024.
Well, there's a remarkably consistent picture when you consider seasonal changes and in particular the general election. Average sale prices in our patch of North West London ended the summer of £748,836, which, as we usually see, is about a third more expensive than across London as a whole.
Our number crunchers at Dataloft have calculated that 74% of local sales in the past 12 months were flats, achieving an average sales price of £617,282, while houses reached an average of £1,282,670. And did you know that the highest value recorded by the Land Registry over the past 12 months in this area was 14.75 million for a flat and 22.51 million for a house? But while the market for most property types has generally been stable, with rises or falls in low single figures, the one exception to that is the all too rare detached house.
You can see here that detached house prices have risen by a huge 25% in the past year. It's worth noting that the total number of properties sold is limited, so this figure is vulnerable to outlier rises. But even so, it shows how desirable this area is, that families want substantial homes and are willing to pay handsomely for them. Our other key data point of interest is average prices by property type.
This includes those premiums paid for the largest homes, where we see detached houses typically commanding 3.73 million in North West London, which is almost 4 times more expensive than the all-London average of just under 998,000. Meanwhile, apartments typically fetch just under 617,000, while terraced houses and semis are broadly similar, on 1.2 million and 1.16 million respectively. These are all substantially above the wider Greater London average.
So what lies ahead? The Labour government has recently made a number of pivotal announcements, and we expect more in the autumn budget. Look out for possible rises in capital gains tax because Labour has pledged not to change national insurance, income tax or VAT. We believe it's likely that CGT for residential property will be raised in line with income tax rates. Currently, it's at 18% for base rate taxpayers and 24% for higher rate taxpayers. Meanwhile, the stamp duty threshold was increased temporarily to £425,000 from £300,000, but Labour has announced that this change will not be permanent and it might revert or hit a different figure completely.
Also coming up, although unconnected to the budget, is the Renters' Rights Bill, likely to become law next spring or summer. There's a whole raft of changes for landlords, including a ban on bidding wars from competing renters, tougher restrictions on evictions, rent increases only once a year, and much more paperwork in the form of a national database of landlords and compulsory membership of an ombudsman scheme. If you're worried as a buyer, seller, landlord or investor, or tenant, or just confused, so much change in a short time, then contact us for advice and guidance. Our small team has an impressive 40 years plus of property experience to offer, and that comes into play particularly when you're looking to sell your property, especially if someone else has failed. We recently found a buyer for a property that 2 rival agencies failed to sell for over 2 years, so we know how to succeed where the bigger boys fail.
And finally, with so much uncertainty, how about a surefire winner? There's a great new restaurant, LAF, on Wilson High Road. It boasts an impressively large menu, but better still, anyone who buys or lets through Loporto Browne Residential gets a 25% discount on their first meal. Bon appetit. We also have a little black book of local, reliable and recommended tradespeople, and always happy to recommend. This month's contractor of the month is Hugo, the painter and decorator who is professional and affordable and super quick. Thanks, Hugo.
You can get in touch with Loporto Browne Residential at lbresidential.co.uk or calling them on 0203 062 6262.